it's always fun to see players do the bomb strats.
Well, and we're off, and the uncle is running for his life as the moon is crashing down a la Majora's Mask, and we're going to see what's in that first chest, and it is some bombs, so runners will not be hurting for that as they go through the beginning part of the escape and the back part of the escape as well.
Yeah, that's always nice to see. There's a bombable wall at the end of the escape that's going to have 3 chests in it. And, oh, just a second, we got a map check. That was a red crystal at Eastern. I believe that was a regular pendant at Desert and a regular crystal at Hera.
Indeed, you are correct, and we're about to see what's on the uncle, and it is the Cane of Samaria, so we're about to see some World Cup strats going forward as we go through the first part of escape here.
Yeah, Cane of Samaria, one of the slower starts that you can get, and there's the other cane, so our runner's going to have a choice of weapon here. So, as I was saying, those bombs are pretty important to get during escape, and when you get them right off the bat in Link's house, that's always feels nice.
Absolutely, that way you don't have to farm for them later on. However, these runners will have to be very mindful of their magic as they go forward. They do have 2 canes that will certainly leak that magic from them, so less so for the Cane of Samaria, a little bit more so for the Cane of Burna.
Alright, so Solsky first runner into the basement. The other runner is not too far behind. And we do see them pick up that small key. There has to be a small key in one of the chests somewhere in escape so that they can actually finish the escape.
So far, the runners are adeptly using that Cane of Samaria, some rather than others taking their time with that. I saw Math Girl kind of just playing a bait and wait with the guard there.
Yeah, especially with some of the more, some of the items that you don't normally use as a weapon, like the Cane of Samaria, the players tend to just improvise a little bit.
Looks like we got a heart container in that second room as our runners descend the stairs to see what is in Zelda's chest. Hopefully she's got something good for our runners to reward them for her rescue.
And you're seeing players now going to take the pots and use them to kill the ball and chain guard. Definitely faster. I think the Cane of Samaria takes 8 hits to kill that guard, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely faster just to throw a couple of pots at him.
Looks like Zelda gave our runners a piece of her heart for the rescue. Very kind of her. I gotta laugh at Solsky's sprite here. The eggplant emoji sprite is genius. Very funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny sprites. And the eggplant is certainly one of the weirder ones.
Well, with a slight lead, Solsky's heading back to the second part of the escape to pick up some more items there to see. I believe the map is still outstanding, so of course that is a possibility, but it also could be in Sanctuary.
Yeah, that's one way to kind of tell just how close a runner is paying attention. If they open that last chest when there's a map in it, or if they skip it rather, you can tell they've really been paying attention. I often find myself forgetting that there's going to be a map there.
Or maybe people just really want a map. I mean, what if they have to blow their nose later? They have a piece of paper to do so.
I never thought about that, but yeah, maybe. And just 10 arrows in the Dark Cross chest. nothing to write home about there.
Again, to reiterate what you had said earlier, it's good that these runners have those 3 bombs. They'll need one for the back of escape for the 3 items there, and then they'll need a couple for Kakariko Village, and having those in their inventory certainly is a little bit of a time save for them.
Yeah, so our runner's now on the final boss of escape, that key rat. Not too hard to deal with Cane of Samaria, just takes 1 hit. But some of the other weapons you get, like bombs, can make can make it pretty tough. And wow, we got a hammer and a bottle in the back of escape. So those are a couple of nice items to get right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That opens up Sick Kid. That allows us to stop and take care of some hammer time here if we're throwing back some 90s.
And Solski and Koi both out of escape below the 6-minute mark. Very nicely done. And Zelgadison not too far behind at 6:05. Math Girl a little bit behind, but still making decent time out of the escape.
Yeah, around the 6-minute mark is a very decently run escape for the runners, so we'll see where they go. Looks like they're all going to be checking that Aghanim ledge. Well, nope, Solski proving me a liar. I'm going into Lost Woods first.
Yeah, checking that Aghanim ledge, some runners view it as a waste of time to do it early and just wait for having the boots. But on the other hand, having that information can come in handy, so you never know.
Oh, we got some silvers.
Yeah. And looks like just a heart container on the lumberjack ledge.
Got some more bombs in the drop down there on Lost Woods. So with his silvers and his extra bombs, Solski's going to be heading south to Kakariko Village. We got a slew of checks once we get there. So hopefully we'll be pulling up some good items.
Yeah, not that we haven't already found a few nice ones.
Now, if I remember correctly, the hammer does tempered sword damage. Is that correct?
Yes. So hammer, definitely a nice weapon to have. It's a little, the hitbox for it is a little bit wonky, so it's definitely harder to use than the tempered sword, but still a very nice weapon nonetheless. And runner's now going into Blind's hut here. Looks like nothing really exciting in the front, just a bit of health.
See business in the front, see if there's a party in the back, and 50 rupees, I'd say that's a very poor party in the back there in Blind's hut.
Yeah, it'll at least guarantee them money for that bottle vendor. That costs 100 rupees for 1 item. And Solski now dropping down into the well. Oh, there's an ether medallion.
It's good to grab those medallions pretty early on. We also have a 20 drop, some more bombs, and another piece of heart. So, I mean, the ether is pretty much the most exciting thing in Kakariko at this point, but I have seen medallions be the sort of the bane of people's existence as they get later in this run, and only a piece of heart from that bottle vendor as well.
Yeah, Kakariko not really paying off much so far. And Chicken Hut also just a piece of heart.
Takes a village, certainly, to love Link here, but certainly not a whole heck of a lot of love, as there's just a whole lot of garbage here.
Solski now doing the Sick Kid check. You need a bottle for this check. So for whatever reason, Sick Kid decides, oh, you have a bottle, I'm going to give you an item. That item today, just 10 arrows.
Yeah, he's got to be careful with those arrows. He'll put his eye out.
And just some bombs in the tavern there. So last hope for Kakariko is going to be this race game.
probably get a peek at what's on the library ledge as well. And then we'll see where we go from there. Probably save and quit and go to South Shore route.
Just a piece of heart at the library, and oh, that is a power glove at the race game. So yeah, Renner's gonna head back for that.
That puts us ever so closer to that Dark World access. So we do need the Moon Pearl, and then it is go time for these runners into the Dark World.
Yep. So I imagine most runners probably going to head to the South Shore next. That's the next highest density area item-wise.
Unfortunately, we're quite far away from the Zora required 500 rupees, so I don't imagine and without the Moon Pearl, that would definitely, I wouldn't imagine any flipper glitch from these runners.
Yeah, not very likely, since the only item you would be able to get would be the hobo. And Solsky proving me wrong here, actually going to head over towards the eastern area first. We'll see if he just is doing Sazra or if he takes a dip into eastern. Zelga, meanwhile, doing the sort of more traditional South Shore route.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Solsky is going to be checking in with our favorite octogenarian to see if maybe his closet has some rewards for him. Three items in the back here. We have some bombs, we have a blue mail, and a heart. So some of the wardrobe, some explosives, and a piece of Sahasrala's heart. That's about it from the back of the closet there.
Yeah, so Solsky just going to do the closet there, not going to dip into eastern. Zelga finding 250 rupee drops at the dam. So next gonna head over to Mini Moldorn Cave. First gonna check the bush crab, and he's just dropping single rupees, so that's not very useful.
Listen, the bush crab is on a fixed income.
The bush crab drops randomized drops, so sometimes you get something really useful like a 20 rupees drops or bomb drops. Other times it's something not all that exciting. But here's our look at Mini Moldorm Cave, and there's our Moon Pearl. And a fire rod. And the ice rod, wow.
So apparently T-Rock just vomited in the back of Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah. So we got our Dark World access. And we got a seed that looks to be pointing very heavily towards Turtle Rock, as you said. So Zelga first gonna head over to Ice Rod Cave. So with that Moon Pearl, Fake Flipper is a little more tempting of an option. Although, again, without Zora money, we'll see if these runners decide to do that or not. The Moon Pearl, of course, allows you to do a glitch that gets you into the Waterfall Cave using the Fake Flippers. So that's why you would want to have that before Fake Flippering. Zelga decides not worth it this time. And Math Girl throwing a fish in the water and getting a 5 rupee drop out of that.
I mean, isn't there something about teaching a man to fish? They'll eat for life. I don't know if that 5 rupees is going to do that, though.
Yeah. Alright, Zelga now heading into the Dark World.
Looks like we're getting a look at the Hype Cave. I would say there was some in chat saying the Mini Moldorm Cave was much more hype than the other.
And here's our map check. We got a pendant at Swamp, we got green pendant at Skullwoods, and I think the other 5-6 crystal was Thieves Town?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's map check again on Solsti's side, but here's Hype Cave from Zelga Disson. We got some bombs, we got some arrows, got some more bombs. Heart piece and 20 rupees. That is a pretty bottom of the barrel Hype Cave.
Yeah, that was a depressing cave. I mean, it stacked up some more of those item counts in terms of bombs and arrows, but that's about it.
And it looks like Zelga now gonna head up. This can be either pyramid to catfish or possibly a dip into pod, although with no bow and no lamp, I think pod is not a very tempting dip right now.
Absolutely not. And, at this point, it's so early. You'd be throwing away those 110 rupees to do a couple of item checks and then having to dip back out.
Yeah, and looks like Solski doing the same sort of thing. So doing this route has become a little more common lately, I think. Just because I think a lot of runners see these two spots, the pyramid and catfish, as being just very out of the way, so you just want to get them over with sooner rather than later. It used to be more common to go straight over towards Stumpy and the Dig game, just because those are a bit faster of checks. We did find a sword on the pyramid, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, having that item definitely is, I'm sure, very favored by our runners, although the hammer is so much better in terms of damage. It is nice to have the sword. Looks like Solski's probably heading toward Catfish at this point, as is Zelga. Math Girl looks like she's trying to fake Flipper meantime in the light world.
Yeah, so this could pay off for her. We'll see.
Looks like we have a car container on Hylia Island, and she's heading toward the hobo check.
Catfish just with the bug net. So runners not too excited about that, generally.
And by just the bug net, you mean the most exciting item in the entire game, right, Adium?
I mean, if you're a fan of memes, I guess. Hobo just with $50 there. And Math Girl doing another fake flipper off the hobo ledge. This will allow her to go back and check out the waterfall cave.
I believe the hobo just had 50 rupees, which is quite a sum of money for someone living under a bridge. Looks like Zelda's going to do Village of Outcasts. He's going to approach from Lost Woods, and we have a couple of ways we can go. We can either go to Skull Woods and do some checks there, of course, the Fire Rod. If we're brave enough, we could certainly clear the dungeon, or we can go down to Thieves Town and Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, with Skull Woods being a green pendant, it's a little iffy on whether you want to do it. I mean, if it were a crystal, I would certainly expect these runners to go straight to the back and face Mothula here. But with it being a green pendant, we'll see what they decide to do. And ooh, there's a 300 on the Zora ledge, but without flippers, can't get to it. It's so tempting because that would have given Math Girl Zora money as well.
Yeah, the 2 p.m. today, there was definitely some consternation over farming for those rupees, and it turned out to be hookshot. And there's the flute in the chess game, so there's something very critical there from Solski.
Yeah, very nice item, and definitely going to be required this seed since Misery Mire is a crystal. And there's a Titan's Mitts in Bombable Hut. Wow.
Well, if Village of Outcasts is the bizarre world of Kakariko, then it's certainly living up to its title. And
Heart Piece and C-shaped house. This seed is giving us a lot of items really quickly.
Got Bombos there in Skullwood, so we have 67%, 0.666 repeating, of our medallions at this point.
Yeah, and that's just even more strongly pointing towards Turtle Rock right now. We got almost everything we need to full clear it. We just don't have a way to get there. We'll need the hookshot or the mirror. Looks like Math Girl actually going to head up into Eastern Palace here. And Zelgadison is going straight to the back. Going to take on Moldorm. Again, this is a pendant, so it may not be required, but with it being a green pendant, you're guaranteed at least one item.
Yeah, if anyone has tried to ever hit a moth with a hammer in real life, I'm sure the construction bills are quite high, so we'll see how Zelga does.
Big key in the first chest of Eastern there. And Zelga using that Ether Medallion to get rid of those Gibdos pretty efficiently.
All right, we're about to see a fight with Mothula Zelga, and of course, a victory will gain him the green pendant. So that's two items, one off of Mothula, if indeed Mothula has an item. I don't know if he's really cleared out much else of Skullwoods at this point, and the other being in Sahasrara.
So using up all the fire rod shots, yeah, so we're going to switch to the hammer for the final hit. Very nice fight there. Just the compass on Moth, but that green pendant will give us an item. Meanwhile, Solsky and Koi heading to the back of these. I don't believe we saw anything of note in the front. We're finding a full heart in the compass chest of Easter. The bug catching net is underwater. That's a pretty useless hint.
Ooh, and Zelga taking a death there. Was that to warp? I think it was a Thieves' Town. Probably to warp to the front, if I'm...
Oh, it was in Skullwoods. No, that was an intentional death, I'm sure.
That's what I was figuring at this point. Gonna check what else is in. Having had the victory over Mothula, now he's got a couple more chests to check. Solsky and Koi on the left-hand side are both Thieves' Town. Of course, Solsky a little bit deeper than Koi at this point.
And chat's pointing out Zelga found the flippers in the back of Skull Woods, which I missed, but wow, that is a big find. Flippers may not be required. Swamp Palace is a pendant, so if we don't have to go in the swamp, we may not even need those flippers. Ice Palace logically requires the flippers, but it is possible to fake flipper into ice. So I think most of these runners know how to fake flipper. Zelga also finding there's a Master Sword on the bumper ledge. Gonna need the cape if they want to get that.
Koi and Zulski will, in short order, be finishing up Thieves' Town. Of course, it is one of our 5-6 crystals, so certainly a good finish to have in terms of the crystal realm. And we'll see. I believe I've counted 3 items so far, but I may have missed a 4th at this point.
So looks like Eastern Palace turned up empty for Math Girl, unfortunately. Yeah, very nice fight from Solsky. Just the compass on blind. So Thieves' Town empty, but they do get that all-important crystal.
Certainly never a waste when you pick up a crystal.
Oh!
But yeah, just the compass.
Okay, I missed something important. The hookshot was in Eastern Palace. That's pretty big. I was distracted by these moth and blind fights. Wow, that is huge for Math Girl. That could pay off big. If the bow is locked behind the hook shot, it might be quite a while because the other runners are probably waiting for the bow to go back to Eastern. So if you need the hook shot to get the bow, it could be a while for them to get back there and get that hook shot. So we'll have to wait and see, but that play could pay off pretty huge for Math Girl.
And as soon as she goes down to the Village of Outcasts and gets her Titan's Mitts, which I believe is where they were, then she's going to open up all of Death Mountain and Dark Death Mountain as well.
Yeah. So she would be able to do Hera and potentially Turtle Rock, depending on the medallion. Meanwhile, Solsky going to activate that flute, and my guess is probably going to head over to Misery Mire just to check what medallion is required for that. Oh, first going to head to the potion shop. Not a bad call here, pick up a blue potion.
Still don't have that lamp, so I'm wondering where that could be, although it could very well be on Death Mountain at this point.
Yeah, could be just about anywhere, really. Ooh, Math Girl, unfortunately, was trying to get a full magic pot there, but it was despawned. That can happen sometimes when there's too much stuff on the screen. It just, that some of those drops just despawn, and that's really unfortunate for her. Alright, so Solsky checking that Mire medallion. It is Bombos. So that was in Skull Woods, so that Bombos medallion gonna be required. So Koi and Solsky gonna have to get back to Skull Woods at some point. Mire Shed not having much of value.
Looks like Koi is going to do the smithy check and going to take him a little bit of tour around the world here, going south to Stumpy. Can't do K45 yet without that mirror, but can get a couple checks in along the way.
Yeah, Solsky opting to skip the blacksmith, I think. That's a little surprising.
Ooh, the mirror comes from Stumpy, so Stumpy was being quite vain and checking himself out in his hardened state.
Oh, that is huge. Well, that might mean... okay, so that gives us access to the Turtle Rock area. So that hookshot may not be needed to get to Turtle Rock, or definitely isn't needed to get to Turtle Rock.
Old man doling out some of his social security money there to Solsky for the big 20, and he's going to go ahead and ascend the mountain. Without that hook shot, he's only going to get so very far, and without that mirror, even less far, as Koi's dropping off the smithy back.
Yeah, Solsky can only check one item up here. Well, actually two. He can do Spike Cave and Spectacle Rock. So, definitely seems a little interesting for Solsky to skip Dig Game and Smiths, and Stumpy as well.
Interested to see if Solsky was going to go for that hint tile, but looks like he is not going to. He's going to go to Spike Cave. Okay.
We're going to activate that flute, and then probably flute turn in the purple chest. Then it wouldn't surprise me if Koi went to Death Mountain next.
Just a piece of heart in that Spike Cave, and Koi, yeah, he's got the purple chest in tow, so I wonder if he'll go and drop that off first, but looks like he's going back into the Dark World, probably heading south, and he's going to get his mirror soon if he's going to Stumpy.
And by the way, we're actually really close now to no mode. We definitely need the bow, and we might need Quake for Turtle Rock. But other than that, we pretty much have everything we need.
Koi's giving us our first look into Cave 45. I'm going to drop that chest off and head on inside to find just a red rupee. So nothing too exciting there for him.
And Math Girl does get those flippers out of Skull Woods. So if those flippers end up being required for Swamp, that'll be good for her. And Hammer Pegs, just some bombs.
Just 20 rupees in that purple chest, so another money giveaway for our runners. Solsky looks like he's heading up toward Pod. Not a whole lot to do up there, but we'll maybe get an item or two. Well, I think only you can get a chest or two, depending on what you get in that first chest.
Yeah, Solsky's routing has me a little puzzled here. I really don't know why he skipped South Dark World and decided to go to Pod instead, but we'll see if it pays off for him.
Got Zelga doing the dig game. I think he's the first to find a heart container there, and Math Girl's heading east. Doesn't have the mirror yet, so can't do any checks past just seeing what's on that bumper ledge.
Yeah, that's that sword. Koi looking at Checkerboard Cave now. Nothing much there. And first chest of pod is a compass, so we're bow locked. So we can't get any further in pod without using what's called the potion glitch. And since Solsky hasn't left, I assume that's what he plans to do here. Yeah, he does have that potion.
Looks like Koi's going to do the Agina check. Singular item, but a bit out of the way, and sometimes can hold some value. This time it doesn't.
Yeah. Alright, so Solsky now about to perform that potion glitch. So you just walk left while using a potion. It unlocks the camera, and you can move the mimics off the screen, which tricks the game into thinking they're dead. And the game just opens the door for you and lets you walk right on by.
Koi is going to dip into Desert Palace and see if her boot's locked. And the chat does bring up the point that Zelga still does have that green pendant and is walking into something. Oh, I don't know. That's an interesting animation. I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah, that happened if you have the blacksmith following you, and you activate the flute while he's following you. He does that funny little walking animation. Math Girl and Solsky both taking deaths at the same time. I think Math Girl's was actually unintentional, whereas Solsky's was a death warp. Looks like Desert Palace's boot's locked, which probably won't matter with it being a pendant. And Koi is going to Death Mountain next. And first save the old man.
Of course, that allows him to have a save and quit point later on in the game, so definitely a good move for him. And Solsky's checking some of those front chests there in Pod to see what he can find. Super random thought popping into my head. Imagine being Princess Zelda, finding an eggplant has saved your life.
Yeah, I'd be a little freaked out, but then again, Hyrule's kind of a crazy place, so maybe things like that are normal. I mean, you have cabbages raining down from the sky on you, so lots of vegetables, I guess, in Hyrule.
Electric cucumbers. produce aside, Solsky is doing some more checks there in Pod, and looks like Koi's going to probably read that hint tile inside Spectacle Rock.
Oh no, the boots are in Ganon's tower.
Of course they are, because why would
You
they
never like seeing that hint, but it's good to know. At least you know that you don't need the boots to complete the seed. Or you know, like if you have that, there's a 1 out of 22 chance that the Ganon's Tower Big Key will be on the torch. But having that knowledge that the boots are in GT will mean you don't have to do any extra checks just in case of that.
So, Eddie, what I'm hearing you say is, so there's a chance.
There is a chance.
Given my luck, that chance would become reality. Koi's getting a reality, though, of another heart container up in Tower of Hera. Nice hint there for Koi, saying the magic mirror can be found on the stump, and he's already found that, so nuts to that hint. Yeah, we're all still on Fighter Sword here, and for Math Girl, we're on, if I'm reading this correctly, we're on No Sword.
Yeah, Math Girl did not check the Pyramid Ledge, which had the one sword that all the other runners have.
Of course, we do need at least Master Sword to fight Ganon. I believe, Eddie, you said that there was a sword on Bonk Rock's Ledge?
Bumper Ledge.
Bumper Ledge, thank you.
So, if the runners find the cape, then they'll have the sword for that. Another thing to note, as chat pointed out, since they're always on top of this, pedestal is definitely not required this seed. The only item that could have been there was the bow. Oh, actually, you know what? I just thought of something. The Quake Medallion could be on pedestal. So what are you even talking about, chat? You're messing me up.
Chat usually loves the pedestal. Why would they count it out so quickly?
Yeah, we had not had that Turtle Rock Medallion check yet. So if Quake is the Turtle Rock Medallion... Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, that's a kind of a confusing bit of logic to follow, but yeah, since the boots are in Ganon's Tower and Desert Palace requires the boots, we do not need the pedestal to get into Ganon's Tower. Okay. Alright, I got this all sorted out. So yes, pedestal is dead.
And as of right now, again, looking back at my notes, I noticed that Math Girl is the only one with that hook shot. Hasn't gone up to Death Mountain yet to sort of use that to its maximum potential, but Solsky is soon going to be the proud owner of a hook shot as well.
Yeah, Math Girl pulling off a little glitch here that discolors the blind fight. It's not really useful at all, just fun to watch, and she's she was using a hammer, but gonna pull out the Cannon Bruna, which is definitely a little easier. Solsky, meanwhile, making his way into Eastern Palace, so we'll find that hook shot. Oh no, Math Girl, unfortunately taking a death there.
Got the powder there in Tower of Hera. That opens up the bat. Magic bat, again, was a crucial check this afternoon, the 2 p.m. daily, so I'm wondering if history will repeat itself.
Yeah, I believe that was the bow on the magic bat. That could be there again.
About to see what the medallion is going to be on Turtle Rock, so we'll see where we are in terms of standing of go mode in just one moment from Koi.
And it is Ether. So Quake Medallion not going to be necessary. So in terms of no mode, we're looking for the bow and another sword.
So, oh, I was, nope. Yep, nope. Koi doesn't quite know if he wants to go into Turtle Rock. Looks like he's not going to for now. He doesn't have the hookshot yet to do Hookshot Cave or the boots to check that first chest. So he's going to go ahead and to go to Super Bunny Cave, it looks like.
Yeah, Koi could full clear Turtle Rock, but with just the fighter sword and green mail, it's not the most appealing option. But it's certainly possible. Oh, there's a sword in Super Bunny Cave. So that's going to make it a little easier to go into Turtle Rock.
Without that hookshot, there are certainly a couple of things that, which Solsky just got. Certainly a couple things in T-Rock that will be a little bit more time-consuming, so I could see why Koi might put that off for a little bit longer.
Yeah, maybe he just wants to do all these overworld checks. There are a lot of checks here that can be done. Solsky, meanwhile, heading up the mountain. Still missing that mirror. But the mirror may not be required.
Still missing lamp, too, though many of these runners are just fine without a lamp. Certainly something nice to have.
Yeah, since that hookshot was behind a dark room in Eastern, we know that the lamp cannot be locked by the hookshot. But other than that, we don't really know where it could be.
Solsky's giving us our first check on East Death Mountain in the Light World, and we find a piece of heart and a 20. We got some bombs. We got a lamp, so there's your lamp, or the lamp that I was just asking about. I of course, love having lamp because I'm bad at dark rooms, and some other red things as well, as such as 20 rupee. Koi doing the same.
Yeah, we also had our red mail, so runner's going to be well protected now.
What is that eggplant with the red mail? Oh my god, it looks like an eggplant that was left in boiling water just a little too long.
Alright, Koi finished with the overworld checks, and I think he's going to head into Turtle Rock now. He's got that blue mail and the Master Sword, so that's going to make things a little easier here.
Yeah, that hint saying that it looks like the purple chest Silent Man is going to give you some rupees.
So, really, we're just looking for the bow now. We are in bow mode. Where do you think it's going to turn up?
I am going to guess Swamp Palace, because why not?
Yeah, well, that would be rude, but it would mean the runners would have to get to the back of Still Woods to get those flippers.
I have very little faith in the kindness of seeds, so that's why I'm going with the rudest.
Yeah, if the seed is nice, it'll be right here in Turtle Rock.
We still have not checked Zora. Chad has pointed out that Zora is still an open possibility.
Koi finding a mushroom there in the Turtle Rock Roller Room.
Looks like Turtle Rock needs a little bit of a dehumidifier if they're growing some mushrooms. Zelga's also opening up at the very least T-Rock and indeed entering it, so looks like we're gonna have some dueling T-Rock action here.
Alright, so the interesting thing is Solsky will be the first runner here with the hookshot, so we will get to see what's in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, Math Girl has avoided Death Mountain for quite some time, just doing some checks with the purple chests and etc. So we are going to see, indeed, as you were saying, Adium, what that Hookshot Cave could bring about for our runners. And it looks like she's about to go into Swamp Palace, so perhaps she's listening to me telepathically, and my wish is for Bo to be in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, this is definitely a bit of a gamble to head into Swamp when you've got crystals that you can full clear. But it could pay off.
I don't know, with so much open, I don't know that I would love to go into Swamp Palace, but at least we get a hint tile to start us out. That is no help.
A unique item in Skullwoods, I believe there were 2 of them.
Which for Math Girl is already a known, so it's not much of a help to her, but she's going to keep digging for those 6 items in Swamp Palace, or at least some of them.
Oh, there's a single arrow.
The single arrow of Evil's Bane. It's the second best item in the game. The first being, of course, the Bug Nap.
And Mimic Cave, just a big 20. Alright, Solsky gonna grab that Master Sword out of Super Bunny Cave and hopefully head into Hookshot Cave next and show us that. Koi, meanwhile, has hit the Crystal Roller Room, finding... Okay, small key had to be there.
Alright, here we go with some hookshot. We got some arrows. And we're about to see what the second item is. It is a 20. And the third item is another 20. And then the fourth item is some more rupees. So, yeah, Hookshot Cave, absolute bust here.
And got some bombs there in Swamp Palace. Koi now coming up to Laser Bridge.
Chad had a very clever title for Hookshot Cave, but I can't say it in front of a polite audience. Laser Bridge also being quite paltry in its findings. Yeah, so Koi is meeting not a lot of success. Well, it's meeting success, but not a lot of items, that's for sure.
Oh, sorry, I had to step away for a second. Did I miss anything?
Everyone beat Ganon, and the Triforce was in our hearts all along.
Wow. I picked a bad time to step away, apparently.
Nothing has quite progressed thus far. We are continuing in Turtle Rock. It looks like Koi's heading for Trinex, and Solsky's making his way through the first half there.
Alright, so the bow's gonna be on Trinex, right? I mean, it has to be, with getting the Ice Rod, Fire Rod, Cane of Samaria so early. The bow has to be on Trinex.
All I could say is that this is probably one of the least favored Trinex situations, other than having a fighter sword, that I can think of.
Yeah, Trinex with the hammer is kind of annoying. I mean, if you've practiced it enough, it's not that bad, but you still prefer to have a tempered sword. Koi making nice work. Takes 5 hammer hits on the last phase, and there it is. Nice fight. Mathgro, meanwhile, is in the left side of Swamp.
bow.
And, yeah, no bow. Turtle Rock, a bust. So all the Turtle Rock items early, and nothing in Turtle Rock. Well, we did get that mushroom, so that could lead to something.
I mean, yeah, so far my prediction of Swamp Palace is not bringing forth any results, although Zora is still in play, from what chat is saying.
The left side of Swamp was a bust, but Mathgirl making her way into the back. Koi gonna check out Spike Cave. I think we saw this earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, and it was nothing to report home about. Zelda also finding that Trinex is nothing to report home about, just that rupee drop, but a crystal, so looks like we have 3 crystals in our 2 bottom runners, 2 with Solsky. Math Girl's still working through a lot of those checks, though she doesn't have any crystals, certainly a lot of items.
Yeah, definitely. For Math Girl's sake, that bow better be in here, or else she's very far behind.
Ooh, just a shield. I think that was a compass.
Just 300 rupees there, and Math Girl not going to fight Argus, so that leads me to believe she got all the items out of Swamp. So, very unfortunate for Math Girl. She's got to start clearing some crystals, I think. But meanwhile, yeah, we got Zora left. We got Ice Palace still available. Misery Mire, of course, is available.
Still got that green pendant from Zelda, still not turned in, so, I mean, anything can happen at this point.
Yep. Math Girl now making her way up to the pyramid, it looks like. We'll get that first sword. We're getting a magic bat check from Koi. And from Zelga. Just bombs there. And looks like Koi making the Ice Palace play now.
Be our first runner to do so. We do have 3 items in there.
No flippers, so we're gonna have to fake flipper in. Alright, we got Solsky now doing that Hammertronics fight. Zugga just turned into Mushroom. And Math Girl heading up to Catfish. And does have Zora money, so we may get to see, with that mirror, we should be able to see what Zora has. She's going to stop off for some potions first. Koi going to use some bomb strats to take care of the Pengators. Very nicely done. And Solsky with a nice Tronics fight. And Zalga heading into Ice Palace right behind Koi.
The seed has not been super friendly with this last item here, making our runners really poke around everywhere in the overworld and beyond.
Yeah, so Mathco getting a bug net. And I think we're going to get our Zora check here.
I mean, could this be it? Could this be the bow?
No, just 20 rupees.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm at a loss. I don't know.
Well, I think all we got left really Ice Palace and Misery Mire and maybe a couple random overworld checks. I don't think anyone's been to the graveyard.
That is true, and it did look like Math Girl wanted a bit of a rebate on her sale there with Zora, getting that 300 on the ledge. So I'll go in for that hint tile, only to be shabated, rickrolled, if you will.
Zelga not having that hook shot, gonna have to do the bomb jump here. This one has a setup that makes it not too hard. Looks like Solsky, okay, he's going to check the Mire area. Doesn't have bombos. Oh, he's just checking, what do you call it? Checkerboard cave. That's the word.
I mean, fair enough, it could be chessboard cave. They're both sort of the same.
Yeah. But, chessboard is like 8x8, so it should be a bit bigger. He's going to steal a key here from the back of Desert Palace. I don't think this can be the bow. But maybe he doesn't know that. I'm not sure if he got the hint that boots are in GT. But if he did, he should know that this is not going to be required.
Yeah, probably didn't get that hint. Because that was inside Spectacle Rock, as Math Girl just gave us a viewpoint, so perhaps Solsky never got that hint.
It looks like he actually skipped a hint in Desert Palace. Is he not checking hints at all? I wonder if Solsky is just not checking any hints.
He's going old school on us.
Yeah. So I think Solsky plays a lot of, if I'm correct, he plays a lot of SMZ3, the Super Metroid Link to the Past combo rando. And there's no hints in that one, so maybe he's just kind of forgetting about the hints.
I mean, I will say, having rejoined sort of the rando community after V30 came out, it took me a while to get used to the hints again. So, although he plays a lot more than I do, so I'd be surprised if that were the reason he were skipping the hints.
Alright, Koi now facing off against Cold Stare. I wasn't counting items in Ice Pal, so I'm not sure if this can be the bow.
I have 2 items down, but I could have missed a third. It looks like we found all 3. I will say, as I was looking at the chat and our trackers were reminding me that we did find all 3 out at the hour mark, I'd like to again thank our 2 trackers. We have Revolving Ocelot and Red Armor, so keeping us honest and keeping us on track. Thank you guys for doing what you are doing.
And there's the bow on Cold Stare. Wow. So that is no mode for us. But it's not going to be go mode for any of the runners. Zelgadisson still missing that hook shot, which is an Eastern. Now that is a crystal, so he'll probably get that on the way. But Solsky and Koi still missing that Bombos medallion out of Skullwood, so they might be in a little bit more trouble. So I would say Zelgadisson has the advantage right now. Well, assuming, of course, he doesn't skip that hookshot in Eastern. It was in the big key chest.
Well, with the bow, I'd imagine that both of our runners are going to, in short order, to Eastern and Pod. It looks like Koi is already there, and Zelga is making his way there as well.
Yeah. So, definitely a pretty friendly seed, I think, overall. Just that bow, I mean, took us a while to find it, but it was just right there on a crystal boss. So it's not like it was really out of the way at all.
Yeah, it's not as if runners had to double or triple dip things or kind of run around looking and kind of poking into single item locations. I would agree with you there.
So Zelga gonna probably do pod first, unfortunately. So we'll be full clearing this before going to Eastern for that hook shot.
Yeah, both of our bottom runners that have the bow at this point are still have an item outstanding to get them into full go mode. So you're right, they will be kind of poking around to see if they can find that last item that they need. Unfortunately, neither of the items that they need, neither Bombos nor the bow, are going to be here.
Now the other thing is, I'm not sure if any of these players can hover, but if they can, they may not even look for the hook shot. Since they know that the boots are in Gan's tower, and they'll be able to just find the boots there. Well, unless, of course, the boots are in the post-mold on chest. Then they'll be in trouble.
Whoa, that would be a brutal trolling of the game there.
Yeah. Mask Girl now picking up that Master Sword. And Zelka getting launched by the bumper into the pit.
As they were launched into the pit, I always have these musical memories that connect with what I'm watching, and I was thinking of like 1999, Kid Rock. Was it Kid Rock said "ba with the ba," and they said get in the pit and try to love someone. Maybe that's what the bumper was trying to get them to do. Just get in the pit and try to love someone.
That reference goes pretty far back.
I try to go B-side with my 90s references.
Yeah, Masco grabbing that shield off of the floating island there.
Looks like Math Girl did a bit of a double take there on the T-Rock, or either a double take or kind of reconsidering of what you wanted to do in terms of entering or not.
Solsky using hammer strats on Cold Stare. Hammer dealing, of course, as we were saying earlier, dealing tempered sword damage, but tougher hitbox, so sometimes easier to just use Master Sword. And there's that bow for Solsky. Unfortunately, not go mode because he still has to get that Bombos, which we know is in the front of Skull Woods.
Yeah, so technically no one is in go mode yet, save, of course, knowing the boots are in Ganon's tower and can hover. I would say that probably Zelga's probably the closest, because after Pod probably will go right into Eastern.
Yeah, I mean, Zelga just was full clearing Pod, so I assume we'll full clear Eastern as well. Zelga and Koi both making their way into Pod. And Math Girl is going to be diving T-Rock. Gonna be disappointed in not finding any items, but should be able to get that first crystal at least. Alright, Zelga Edison collecting crystal number 5. Koi and Solsky not far behind.
Yeah, I would definitely say that Koi and Zelga have been pretty steadily collecting those crystals throughout this race on a pretty equitable track.
Yeah, they've both taken very similar routes, just with Koi skipping Skull Woods. So we'll see how long it takes him to get back there.
Zelga is very, very close to being in go mode once he finds that hook shot. And here we go for Zelgadison at 1 hour. Oh, nope, I thought the hook shot was there. I take that back.
I was in the big key chest, so the lamp lock chest.
I was getting very excited to announce go mode. The 1 hour probably will still ring true, but the 12 minutes may or may not ring true at this point.
And Solsky in the race chat asks, "Anyone find Spring Ball yet?" That being a Super Metroid reference.
Math Girl looks like she has dipped into T-Rock. Could be her first crystal of the game here.
Yeah, these Pokies definitely are annoying to deal with on the Master Sword. Probably a lot faster just to use the Fire Rod. Alright, Zelga is checking that big key chest, so if you want to do the honors.
I was hoping you'd let me because I had to redeem myself somehow. 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 50 seconds. Zelga is in go mode at this point with all the items that he needs in order to complete the seed. And we'll see if he picks up the boots in Ganon's Tower along the way.
Yep. Of course, there is still that chance the boots are the big keys on the torch, but again, with that hint, we know the boots are in GT, so we won't have to go very far to find them.
Got 3 of our runners in Eastern Palace. Solsky, of course, at the Armos. Of course, beat Armos a lot faster than I can actually say it.
Yeah, Solsky, having already dipped Eastern earlier, was able to just go straight to the back and fight the boss.
Looks like Solsky's gonna go into Swamp Palace. Got the hammer out.
This is unfortunate for Solsky. It makes sense. Swamp Palace has a lot more items than Skull Woods. Unfortunately, this can be a big time waste for him. And actually, he's not going to Swamp. He's doing Pyramid Fairy. So still going to be time waste, just not as big of a time waste.
First time we are seeing Pyramid Fairy and Zelga on his last dungeon, which is Misery Mire.
Oh, that's right. Solsky doesn't have the flippers yet. Those are in Skullwood, so that's actually really good for him. That'll keep him out of Swamp for sure.
Right, you are. Chad, of course, making that correction. As I look down, it's like, oh, of course, no flippers. And that's actually good for Runner because when you start to get locked out of places, your options of where to go, of course, dwindle down. So that is good for Solsky. All right, let's see what those two items are in the Pyramid Fairy. They are a heart container and tempered sword. So
Oh, that's very nice.
nice, not needed, but nice.
And Zelga making his way into Misery Mire. He's gonna hope for what we call a God Mire, which is when the big key is in one of these first two chests. That makes the dungeon pretty quick.
Looks like Solsky might be going to Skullwoods. Indeed, he is, which is good news for him because he'll soon be in go mode when he finds Bombos there.
And there is that big key on the bridge chest of Mire, so we do have a God Mire.
Well, Silver Arrows, Vitreous will be none the challenge to Zelga as he makes his way to that basement area where you will encounter our ocular boss. One of several.
Zelga gonna use the Ice Rod here. So this sets up the spooky action glitch, which will allow him to save, I think it saves about 7 seconds or so, by using the Fire Rod to hit the switch from the screen below it. So this is a pretty technical glitch. It's kind of hard to explain how it works. I don't really know exactly. But you do a few certain things in a very specific order, and it just somehow tricks the game into moving the fire rod damage a screen too high.
I would just say magic. That's how it works, magic.
Yeah, I mean, you can also just say that. But anyway, Solsky now has found that Bombos Medallion and is in go mode. So just about basically a Mire go mode away from Zelga.
Eddie, and we're in a very special mode right now, too, as Zelga completes his last crystal. We're in a mode called Guess the Key in Ganon's Tower. Would you like to explain to the audience what that's all about?
Certainly. There are 22 chests in the basement of Ganon's Tower that can hold the big key. So throw your guesses in chat, numbers 1 through 22. We'll go just in the order that that Zelga opens them. Prof A Gamer, what is your guess going to be?
I'm going with good old 6. What about you, Eddie?
I like to guess number 1. Let's just get it over with.
You are a kind, kind soul.
Well, that could also mean it's the torch, and if they go left first, and then they have to scavenge around for the boots.
I underestimated you. Today at 2 p.m., the key, I believe, was on 21, which, save for the tile room, was just the most brutal place for that key to be.
Yeah. No one likes those long, big key hunts. Math Girl taking on Trinex.
Gonna be getting her first crystal of the game, as Zelga's gonna make his way into Genna's tower. Looks like Koi will soon be in go mode. He is in Skullwoods where Bombos is. Alright, we're about to see if Torch has this key. If so, then good game. Good game.
Now, well, Zelga actually going to go to the right first. And number 1 is half magic, so my guess is dead.
Still nice to get. Number 2 is a 20 rupee, so he's going to go ahead into the left side. If it were me, I'd certainly want to see if that left side were going to make my game a lot less happy.
And on the Torch, number 3, just a big 20, so the boot's not required.
So we're in super de-duper go mode at this point.
Super de-duper indeed. And there's the Bombos medallion for Koi, so he's now in go mode. And Math Girl takes down Trinex, earning her first crystal.
Bottle and boots and a key for Zelga, making us get up to 7 here for the key count, but has boots, so at least we got that going for us. Eight just being a piece of heart. Looks like Solsky in the top left also in go mode. I don't know if we had mentioned that yet.
Yeah, Solsky. And Koi just a couple minutes behind there. Zelga heading into Rando Room now. And it is not on the left side. So Zelga now going to head to the Armos Knights. What number are we on? I lost count.
I believe I have 13. Can't say that I'm as adept at math as Math Girl might be, but I have 13. And Solsky, has he cleared Skullwoods at this point? Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm reading this wrong. I clearly need glasses at this point.
Yeah, he didn't, but being a pendant, it's not required. Solsky started to head, tried to head to Ganon's Tower in the light world, realized, wait, I gotta go through the portal first.
Here we go. We have 14 as a cape, and then we have the Ice Armos. We have 3 more chests behind these gentlemen.
Well, there's our access to that last sword. I don't think anyone's gonna go for that at this point.
Oh my god.
So it's going to be on right side.
Right side or tile room. But if any of the runners ask, I never said tile room. All right, last 4 chests. We have the big key. That is number, if I have my count correct, 18.
All right. Let me scroll up, see who was the first to guess 18. And it looks like nobody guessed 18. We have a 17 from Daniel Oberon and a 19 from Kid Umbra. But nobody guessed 18.
Edium, I think you win then.
Oh, that's nice. I like winning.
A winner is you.
Alright, and so also we can do the Dark Magician strat. So this is where you do the first room on the left side, mirror out, and then go to the right side. This gets you enough keys to guarantee you can do the right side. So this is actually good for him. He's going to skip doing a bunch of the basement.
And the good thing, too, is that he has Tempered Sword, while Zelga, who's ahead of him, has the Master Sword. So that will save a little bit of time when we get to that Ganon fight.
Yeah, for runners of these calibers, though, I think Master Sword Ganon with silver shouldn't be too bad a problem.
Nice landmolus, too, from Zelga there. Looks like Koi is about to enter Ganon's tower himself at this point.
Alright, Solski now making his way to the gauntlet as Koi just entering GT. And heading to the right first. So may not end up getting that. Zelga checking a few extra chests, hoping for another sword. Instead finding the useless Quake Medallion.
How dare you call the Quake Medallion useless? That is hurtful to its psyche.
Well, I'm not friends with the Quake Medallion, to put it that way.
Has the Quake Medallion hurt you?
It has.
Fair enough. And Zelka has hurt Moldorm the second, going to go ahead and hookshot over to see that there is a grand old map in that last chest. So he's going to make his way over to who I like to call Trigonometry because he is a geometry-based boss. And if you don't know your hypotenuses, you're in trouble. Nice math puns in the chat, friends. Zelga taking down Aghanim and go ahead and bonking to the beat of the music. I always appreciate that.
Yeah, it's always just gives you something to do during the cutscene, I guess.
All right, Zelga heading to the big pig with the Master Sword. It's going to be a little bit of a fight, but got those silver arrows and the half of magic, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Getting some nice double spins here. Actually using a spin off the trident to get to the top of the screen quicker. That was pretty nice. I'm going to use cape strats here. Cape and half magic, always nice to have when you're on Master Sword.
Phase 2 of 4 of cannon. Of course, with that cape, avoiding those fire bats.
Now, hopefully Zelga does have the potion. Yeah, he does.
Solsky not too far behind on Aghanim 2. See if maybe that Tempered Sword comes into play a little bit here, but it looks like Zelga's in Phase 3, so he is quickly running away here with the soon victory, asterisk being hopefully there's no fall.
Yeah, that's about the only thing that could cost Zelga the win at this point.
Ganon is not being friendly right now to Zelga. He is hovering here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Math Girl has taken down Blind, so now up to 3 crystals.
Alright, Zelga gets that first silver arrow and doesn't get the torch glitch, but that's alright. Close to that edge. Gets the triple. And for the takedown of the pig, we'll get you the official time in just a moment.
Yeah, very nicely done from Zelga. And Zelga Dissin has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 32 minutes 52 seconds. Taking first place on the restream and first place overall in the whole race. What a great run from Zelga.
Yeah, that was a very strong run, very strong time for a seed that wasn't necessarily super fast. A little bit equitably placed in terms of items and progression, but nice job, GG, to Zelga Dissin, as Solsky is in the Ganon fight and Koi making his way up toward the gauntlet. And we are joined by our first place finish, Zelga Dissin. GG, my friend, how are you?
Doing good. GG's. Thank you.
Yeah, I have to interrupt you for just a second because Solsky has also just finished off Ganon. And get your GG's in chat for Solsky, who comes in second place on the restream and second place overall in the race with an official SRL time of 1 hour 34 minutes and 34 seconds. But yeah, let's get back to you, Zelga. Great job on that seed. Definitely, to me, seemed like a somewhat friendly seed. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, it was very friendly, although I was actually really sad that the flippers were not required. I honestly expected that if I was going to have a chance to win this thing, I would need something like a bow in the back of Swamp. And it just never happened, so I'm curious, from your guys' perspective, what happened?
Well, The difference between you and the other restreamed runners, I think, was that Bombos medallion. Solsky and Koi both skipped the front of Skull Woods, so I had spent a bit of extra time looking for that medallion. They did manage to get a tempered sword out of it. That was Pyramid Fairy, I think. But not really enough to make up the difference there.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I followed into Skullwoods immediately because of the sword from the Pyramid Ledge. I kind of thought that might be a differentiation I had against most people. So I really wanted the green pendant to matter. And I mean, Bombos and Flippers were there. I felt like it probably would. And then the Bombos obviously did, but the Flippers was what was actually behind the sword. So I was feeling a little down about the decision, to be honest.
Yeah, well, actually, all three of you, Solsky, Koi, and yourself, all did the Hype Cave to Pyramid to Catfish route, which was kind of surprising to me, but that route does seem to be getting more common these days.
Yeah, personally, if I have like Hammer, Glove, Dark World, I'll pretty much always start a Hype Cave. And if I don't have the Mirror or Mitts, I'm probably either going to just save and quit or do the Hype Cave up to Pyramid and Catfish route.
Yeah. But I was shocked when Turtle Rock had nothing, because you had everything for Turtle Rock so early. How the heck was there nothing in Turtle Rock?
Yeah, I was torn between going to Ice, which my gut was telling me, and then the Mountain. And especially because of Turtle Rock, we got all that stuff. Like, it was just the care package in Mini Moldorm Cave. But I was really shocked that there was nothing. I thought the mushroom had to be something, and it was just a piece of heart.
Yeah. Yeah, going to Ice Palace early on definitely would have been the god route here, but I can see, why anyone would put that off for till you pretty much had to go there. And little Boots and Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that I actually was kind of happy to see that with Swamp as a pendant, because it meant that I knew I was going to get a hook shot since Meyer was a crystal. I didn't have to worry about, oh god, is there going to be a hover that's just going to demolish me when it's on pendant something dumb.
Oh, yeah, that is a really good point. I completely forgot about that. I was thinking, like, you might pay attention to the Ice Palace key logic to determine if the hookshot could be in GT or not. I wasn't even paying attention to the Ice Palace, but yeah, knowing with Meyer being a crystal, obviously the hookshot can't be in GT.
I'm going to break in quickly here to say that Koi is on Ganon. And with that tempered sword, I'm going to make quick work, so we'll break back in from the interview once Koi, when and if, I'll keep more on the when and less on the if, that he finishes Ganon here.
Yeah, Koi using Cape Strats as well. So with that tempered sword, definitely gonna make the fight a little bit easier.
I don't wanna.
We are joined by Solsky. If we can just hold off just for a moment, since Koi is just about to finish on Ganon here. I got 1 arrow, 2 arrows, 3 arrows, and 4 arrows. And that's it for Koi. Get your GGs in chat.
And as Koi crosses over the bridge, we're going to find that he finishes third on our restream with 140 21 as his official time. We do have a third and fourth finisher. Matt 7898 with 139.22, and LT Gray with 139.43 will finish in fourth place.
Yeah, so that'll be a fifth place finish for Koi. So very nicely done. And we're also joined by Koi. So GG's to you.
Oh, hi.
So Koi and Solski. So you guys, basically the difference between you two and Zelga Dissin is that you both skipped the front of Skull Woods on your first entry into the Dark World and had to kind of search around a bit for that Bombos medallion. Do either of you want to talk about like what your thoughts were on whether or not to do the front of Skull Woods there?
I'm scared of Mothula, I guess. I went up to Pyramid and Catfish first before entering the Dark World of Village of Outcasts. So I had the sword and access to this green pendant moth, which I felt like if I went to Skullwoods, I was definitely going to end up fighting Mothula, and I was definitely going to die and lose a bunch of time. So I chose to put it off, and I figured I'd go back the next time I got like a little bottlenecked, and it just never ended up happening.
Well, you did. You missed out on those flippers, which were actually in the back of Skullwoods, not on Mothula.
I'm
not
okay with
like you
this.
really needed them, but they were there.
Yeah, I ended up saving time, not having to do, like, not getting baited into doing flipper checks or swamp or anything.
Yeah. Solski, did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I hate the Skullwoods meta with a passion, so that's why I didn't go.
Oh yeah.
It's a pendant dungeon, right? So I played it pretty tight and aggressive. I haven't played competitively or in a race in a while, so I figured I'd just kind of go back to my old tricks and kind of not so much read the logic, but just kind of play aggressive, and it paid off a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like I made the call. I'm like, something's wrong when it was like between Eastern and Skull and some of the overworld. I'm like, it's either gonna be Eastern or Skull, so I chose Eastern, and then that was a hookshot leading to Lamp and something else. I was like, well, that means I missed Mirror, and then I got the Mirror hint, which was pretty funny. So yeah, it was
you
a
definitely
pretty crazy scene.
Definitely had that hookshot earlier than Koi and Zelga did. Another
I had
thing,
the bow first.
so one thing I noticed, Solski, were you skipping the hints on purpose?
Yep.
Was that just you just didn't want to check them?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't really like hints in general, but like if they're like right in front of me, I was okay. Let's do them. Like the one in Thieves is pretty out of the way. Pod, I have to go north instead of south, so I was like, nah, I don't really want to do them. It kind of worked out too. Like it was funny because some of the hints I checked were items I were either missing or didn't find. So like the mirror wasn't required. It was required in logic to get to Death Mountain, but you didn't need it in the seed.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. But also got that bug net hint for Quickfish, which I already did. So,
did you get the boots hint? There was a boots hint
no,
somewhere.
I didn't. I just found them, and I was like, "Hey, chat, I can hover now. Let's go."
Yeah, there was a boots hint for boots in GT. So, yeah, like Zelga was saying, knowing that and with Meyer being a crystal, that allowed them to figure out that the hookshot could not be in GT. But that didn't matter for you since you had the hookshot pretty early.
I think that was the only hint I ever found that gave me any information at all. And it wasn't even useful. It was more of a groan.
Yeah.
I just can't believe the luck. I feel like every time I'm on Restream, the other people on Restream are all like the really, really good guys who crush me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had first, second, and fifth place finishers on Restream today, so definitely a strong showing from the featured runners here.
It's just so weird. Like, there's like 30 people in the race, and 2 of the other guys on Restream are first place and second place.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel good about my finish. Like 5th place is awesome.
Oh yeah, no, I mean you still definitely.
Gosh
did
darn
quite
it!
well.
I don't look as good when I'm standing next to Zelga and Solski.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Well, I don't know. That's about all I got to ask you guys. Did you have anything you wanted to ask Profi Gamer?
No, I think Eddie, you covered it all. I've been kind of focusing on Math Girl and our other finishers there in the race, but just to all our runners so far, GG. Really well run seeds, and it was incredibly entertaining to watch you and to have the honor to commentate your races today.
And thank you,
Yeah.
GG's to everyone. This was interesting seed how free it started, and then it suddenly became kind of follow the breadcrumbs. But yeah, I'll probably jump out of here. But GG's again. I really appreciate the restream, the commentary, tracking, all that.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And to everyone watching, don't forget to give these runners a follow. Solski, MathGirl 718, Koi_stream, and Zelga Distant. So I got links in the chat there, so you can click them, hit that follow button, show them some support. In the meantime, so if you guys, I mean, you're certainly welcome to stay and hang out if you want, or if not, have a great day in GG's.
Yeah, much love to everybody, but I gotta get back to more rando.
All right.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah, Koi, warm up those pipes for tomorrow because you might be back in it.
Every day.
We do have a slew of runners that have finished since our featured here in the chat. We've had Hitsuyan, GFE 12, Salty Fry, Adirondack Rick, P-Train, and Raylan Tanker, and that's in order from 6th through 11th in our finish here in our 27-person race so far.
Yeah, so meanwhile, we're going to continue to follow Math Girl, who is currently fighting Vitreous. Down to 1 heart. Going to use basically sword / spam here. So this is a slow but effective way to take out Vitreous. And that is crystal number 4 for Math Girl. So hopefully she'll go to Ice Palace next, and that will give her that bow that puts her in go mode.
And Math Girl has been showing a lot of resolve here, really just sticking it out and doing a really nice job at progressively moving forward here in the seed. That could have tripped others up, certainly. So I can see where others. We actually have had 3 forfeits so far in this particular seed. So she's showing some good character here and just moving it forward.
Yeah, and she started to go to Ice Palace. I think she's decided to pick up some potions first. Probably not a bad call. Ice Palace not the funnest thing to do on Master Sword. But yeah, grab some blue potions, give yourself lots of magic for fire rod shots, and it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, grabbing those potions for safety, never a bad idea. Always nice to have sort of in the back pocket, especially when you're going to a dungeon that requires a lot of magic, like Ice Palace, as you were saying.
Raylan Tank here asking where the flippers were. They were in the back of Skull Woods.
Bo was in Ice Palace.
Yeah, the bow is on Cold Stare, so Math Girl should be getting that somewhat soon.
Sleepy Night in the chat. Don't you worry, that happened to me just the other night, and I made a joke about it at the beginning of my seed that like, oh, I'm getting so many bombs, and then I'm gonna need them when I bomb jump, and then I ran out of bombs. So you and I are in the same car here.
Looks like we got Koi starting up another seed. So this is obviously not part of the race, but I guess a little something extra to watch.
I'm putting it on Koi to win this before the last finisher of this race. Come on, Koi, let's go. So far, a pretty quiet finish in terms of our runners in this race of the 27. Many who have finished, 11 who have finished so far. We haven't had a finish since Raylan Tankar 146.50, so we'll continue to update you on those finishes as we get them.
Yeah, definitely. Probably some runners getting tripped up by various things. Yeah, the three on the stream, Koi, Solsky, and Zelga, you know, all having very good times here, coming, as we said, first, second, and fifth. So definitely a bit tough to be matched up, you know, against top tier runners like that.
Can't help but laugh at. I don't know if it's his subscribe or his follow animations for Koi there.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them going on.
A lot of love for Koi, and there should be a lot of love for Math Girl right now. She is making her way through Ice Palace, one of the least loved dungeons.
We are gonna hide Koi's stream though, as our focus is gonna be on Math Girl as she finishes off this run. So Math Girl definitely, you know, making her way through the seed. Unfortunately, the bow is at the end of Ice Palace, so she'll probably end up full clearing this. But yeah, once she finishes off Cold Stare, that is going to be go mode.
It definitely seems like this race is sort of split in half right now, as we haven't had any other finishes so far.
Yeah,
so.
that is definitely odd. Like, we had kind of a big clump of finishers in the 130s and 140s, and then Okay, we did just have a 12th place finisher with Sandra's 316 coming in at 155.45.
SRL is making us a bunch of liars out of him.
I will say this is definitely not one of the easier seeds in terms of execution. Those swords were kind of hard to come by. We know one sword on Bumper Ledge that required the cape, which was in GT, so no one was getting that. And then the other sword being in Pyramid Fairy, so you had to get the bow off Cold Stare. So basically, you were forced to do Cold Stare with the Master Sword.
Yeah, and then definitely we had Zelga did the Ganon with the Master Sword, and that is, for runners that are a little bit newer, could be a bit of a challenge. And having one sword outstanding on that bumper ledge could certainly be a bit of a difficulty.
Yeah. Athro going to do another bomb jump here. This one really just saves a few seconds, but might as well if you know how to do it.
So we're continuing to watch Math Girl, doing really well in Ice Palace here. I see at least a couple of folks talking about streaming and entering races. I will say that community is very welcoming. It's very easy to get races going. I have a Mac, and Macs are like the most difficult thing ever. You can even stream on Macs, PCs, all that good stuff, and always we're looking for people to join the commentary and tracking ranks as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think the best way, just hop on the ALTTP Randomizer Discord. Lots of helpful people there, lots of resources, lots of links to help you get started. And Math Girl is now getting 2 Cold Stare. So let's see how she handles this fight. Did stock up on potions before coming to Ice Palace, so has lots of magic.
Starting out with that Bombos is a really good move that saves a little bit of magic in case you want to Fire Rod after the casing has been sort of degraded.
Yeah, gonna start off with Master Sword spins here. Probably not a bad idea, since you can hit. If you time it right, you can actually hit all 3 pups with 1 spin. Now we're gonna switch to the Fire Rod though. Gets 1 puff down.
Gotta be careful running low on those hearts. I don't know if she has any potions.
She does have a blue, and she's going to drink it now. And yeah, switch back to that Fire Rod. Missing a... Oh, never mind, that shot did hit. Alright, getting puff number 2 down, and puff number 3 is down. Nicely done. And there is your reward, the bow. And that is go mode for Math Girl. So, sub 2 hour go mode.
It's really nothing to balk at, and we only have, it looks like, Pod Eastern, which are 2 pretty quick clears, and then we're off to the races. Nice thing for Math Girl is that she doesn't have to poke around into any chests, any extra chests rather. It's certainly in Pod that's a little bit more free in terms of skipping certain chests that you don't have to poke around in to get to that go mode, to rather that big key into the boss.
Yeah, do you remember where the big key in Pod was?
Not off the top of my head. I'm sure chat might remember, but I do not remember. I don't remember if Math Girl has already dipped in here once, but it looks like she's going to right side to start us off here. Yeah, it looks like this will be the second visit to Pod for Math Girl. So she is likely already going to the left side, going to the right side. Hopefully find that big key soon so she can go ahead over to Helmasaur King. In the meantime, we do have some finishers. In 13th place, we have Shadow 59 with Dark Shadow 59 with a finish of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 35 seconds. Furtz 505 with 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 58 seconds. And Shire, the 15th place finish of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 12 seconds. There's the big key for our Math Girl. Looks like she is going to do a couple checks down there. She has her... Well, she might want an extra small key just to go to the Harmless Hellway.
She might be looking for another sword as well. Hoping for that tempered sword.
Yes, that absolutely could be it.
Unfortunately, we already know the other sword is going to be in Pyramid Fairy, which is kind of an out-of-the-way check. She probably will get that cape in GT, and if she remembers there's a sword on the bumper ledge, she may opt to go grab that before Ganon if she doesn't feel comfortable with the Master Sword.
We do have the 16th place finish here with Liam Atlas at 2:04.40. So GG's to them. Okay, we're about to go to Helmasaur King here for Math Girl. And with the Silver Arrows, that second phase of Helmasaur King shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah, just a single silver arrow to the little, I don't know what's that called, the green thing on top of his head. And that takes out Helmasaur in one hit. And that's crystal number 6 for Math Girl.
Yeah, we got one left in Eastern Palace, and that should be a fairly quick one. As Math Girl's already checked a good number of chests, if not all of the ones in the front part of Eastern Palace that she already has the hook shot. Do have a 18th place finish here, 2:08.54 for Durand. So GG's to Durand. Apologize, that was 17th.
Yeah, and by the way, just a shout out to our trackers, Revolving Ocelot and Red Aramir. Give them a follow, show them some support. They did a great job today.
Absolutely. To look at 4 small boxes on a screen and try to track what everyone is getting at any given time is could be quite the challenge. So thank you to our 2 trackers, certainly.
All right, and Math Girl is on to Armos Knights to get that 7th and final crystal. Nicely done.
Yeah, making super quick work of those Armos there, as she's going to be heading her way up to Ganon's Tower at this point. I'm sure, as you've been mentioning, Eddie, I'm probably hoping for that next sword upgrade.
Yeah, As we know, the swords, she's missing one as that Pyramid Fairy, the other being on Bumper Ledge, but you need the cape out of GT to get it.
Grabbing a quick safety as she goes to Witch's Hut. Not a bad idea. Heading up to Ganon's Tower. Heading up to Death Mountain, rather, to head up to Ganon's Tower.
Anytime I'm looking at a potential Master Sword Ganon fight, I usually do go to fill up on potions before I head to GT.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there with you there. After I'm done unrolling from the ball I'm crying in on the floor, then I go for the safeties. Now, out of the 3 potential ways to get up Death Mountain into the Dark Death Mountain, you have this way, you have the T-Rock, and then you have the rock on the East Death Mountain. Which is the quickest, from your understanding?
I believe the quickest way is to use the rock on the south of East Death Mountain and then go up through Super Bunny Cave. If you use the mirror or hook shot to glitch your way through those blocks, I believe that's the quickest way to get to GT. At least that's the way I always take.
That's what I was wondering. I always feel like I take a certain way up, and I'm not always sure what is the quickest way to get up, and if I'm maybe losing seconds here and there.
Yeah, I've never actually timed it, so I'm not 100% sure on it, but that's the way I see most players take.
In any event, whatever way you take, Math Girl is taking westbound over to Ganon's Tower. We'll see which way she opts to go. We know that that key is right side. We'll see if maybe she goes right, left, or just full right. We'll see what she does. Alright, well, Math Girl is going right at least to start, so we'll see after the first couple of chests what she opts to do.
There's that half magic. Definitely a very welcome sight.
Without the small key there, cannot continue going right side, so she will go left side. We'll see if... I would imagine she's going to go full, at least go pretty far left side before heading back right.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is kind of normal route, although some people do mirror out after this room and go right side. There's a little extra safety in the bottle with the fairy, and there's those Pegasus boots. So she is continuing left, so it'll take her a few minutes to find that big key. which unfortunately is on the right side.
I can't say that this is the easiest route for a Ganon Big Key hunt. Not even really given the option to go right if one wants to, because they don't have a big, small key rather in the first couple of chests. Math Girl in the rando room right now, which is one of the few rooms that really holds some significance in randomizer races. I have to be honest with you, playing the vanilla game, I didn't even know this existed until doing randomizer.
Yeah, so I think the vanilla game, it just has like some arrows and bombs, just kind of a supply room really. So mostly not all that important. Ooh, taking a spill there. Getting a nice fairy though, that's always friendly.
Nice to have those boots to do a bonk across the gap there. Finding a whole heap of nothing behind those ice armos, going right side now. We have another finisher in the overall race, BBQ Sauce, 2:18:21, 18th place here in our rando race. Math Girl grabbing her big key, and I believe that was a Sankar, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Well, what a fine place for a Sankar to be. It's farthest from the sanctuary that it could.
Yeah. So Math Girl now on to the gauntlet, or the mimics first, rather.
Gotta tell you that anti-fairy in this room can be quite a nuisance.
Yeah, sure can.
In my angrier moments, I would use other words, but again, polite company.
Getting those first mimics down, getting a nice magic refill there.
And using that Bombos medallion to take out those gauntlet rooms, I certainly would not blame her for doing so. With the half magic, it's always a decent idea to get those just out of the way. We have our next finish with Prism Lizard at 221.56 GG's to Prism Lizard. Number 19, again, in a race of 27, quite a big field tonight. Math Girl taking out those silvers, seeing if she can go ahead and fell Land Mollusk 2 with some silvers. Looks like she's had a little bit of trouble, but believe me, it's not so easy when you have a fireball careening toward your face, that's for sure. It's like she is opting to just go ahead and spin slash and slash those land mollusks. Finally filling that land mollusk, the third of the second land mollusk. 1 1/2 if you're doing some improper fractions. Heading up to the Wizrobe rooms, where really that Canis Samaria gets its stripes. Nice clear of those Wizrobe rooms by Math Girl. Still checking around for those last sword upgrades. Fortunately, not going to find what she needs here. We're a little low on hearts, but we do have a room coming up with an anti-fairy and Beamos, so we can always powder those and get some extra hearts. And she does indeed. Checking the last chest before Moldorm 2, we get a triad of bombs. Down Moldorm 2 goes. Chat asking where the swords were again. One was in Pyramid Ferry. I'm going to search my notes for the other two, but chat might beat me to this one. We do have Math Girl now on Trigonometry, as I like to call him again. That geometry-based boss. And anyone who enjoys algebra is not going to enjoy this boss. You got to know your angles, your hypotenuses and such. Math Girl having a very solid, progressive fight here against Aghanim 2, and down he goes. Alright, so Math Girl is going in with a bunch of hearts. We got a red mail, we do have silver arrows, and we do have our Master Sword, which makes it a little more difficult. We'll see what she does here. Looks like she is opting to kind of take a peek here. Maybe grab another safety or two before she heads into Ganon. I think Math Girl probably remembers that sword is on Bumper Legends. Probably going to go ahead and grab that. I don't blame her. Master Sword Ganon is terrifying, if I were to be honest, at least from my vantage point. So I don't blame her at this point in the game grabbing that extra sword, especially since she knows where it is. Alright, so Math Girl has now her Tempered Sword. Is going to go head on over to the Big Pig, well equipped for a quick battle with the Pork Fiend, and we'll see her in just a moment. Gonna go ahead and take that portal south of Link's house. Head on up through the pegs and back onto the pyramid, back to where the bat crash landed. And we're gonna go see a very adept Ganon fight from Math Girl. And again, let's give her some support in the chat. She's been such a trooper this entire race, doing such a nice job at kind of progressively clearing out this seed. Certainly one that could take anyone for a ride. Right in, Math Girl goes for the Big Pig fight. Saying that he's going to hold a parade with all of his monsters to demonstrate his might. Of course, he's not going to get to that parade if Math Girl has anything to do with it. Math Girl going ahead and grabbing that cape preemptively just in case those bats have anything to say about it. It looks like she goes ahead and equips that cape. Not a bad idea with that half magic, slashing away at Ganon. He's going to soon be in Phase 3, still in Phase 2 here. Alright, we're in Phase 3 of Ganon. You know, he's quite rude with these warps at this point, if our memory serves correctly from our other runners. Alright, giving him his last slash on phase 3. She indeed found those silver arrows. She's going to go ahead and work for that torch glitch. Got to be careful from that bat. I think she may have gotten that torch glitch. Got to be careful with those bats, though. Believe she has a safety, so I believe, yep, and she goes ahead and drinks that blue potion. Alright, we got our first arrow shot there. Our second arrow shot, only 2 away from putting the pig away. One more to go for Math Girl. She goes ahead and puts the... And there she goes, putting in that last arrow for a victory over the evil Ganon. GG's in the chat for Math Girl. Clutching it out. I'll give you a time in just a second. Math Girl 718, defeating Ganon at 2 hours and 33 minutes rather, and 17 seconds. GG's in the chat to Math Girl, sticking it out through the seed. Excellent job, and we're gonna pull her in for a quick interview here. GG's, Math Girl, you clutched it out. You got Ganon down. How you feeling? Perhaps at a loss for words.
Hello. Sorry, I had to connect my mic. How's everybody?
Here we are, Math Girl, GG's.
Hi. Thanks. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you perfectly. I believe everyone can hear you perfectly at this point. So GG's to you on this seed. This seed certainly could take everyone for a ride, and you certainly stronged it out and clutched it out. So GG's to you.
Ugh, that Ice Palace, though.
I mean, I think that's how everyone feels about Ice Palace.
I don't usually mind Ice Palace, but it's just like, yeah. That was the thing.
Well, and of course, Ice Palace held your key to your go mode item in that bow.
Yeah, I mean, I last location that, literally.
As they say, what you're missing is always in the last place you look.
Yup. Oh my.
How are you feeling after that seed?
Ugh. I was worried I'd have to do Master Sword without cape, but it's just like, oh goodness, that might take a while.
Now, you showed some good memory there. You went right on back to that bumper cave led that last sword, and I don't blame you for it, because Master Sword Ganon is, in my eyes, pretty terrifying.
I mean, I knew exactly where it was, so it's like I'd much rather have Tempered when I know it's just a short walk.
No, absolutely. Anything in the seed in particular that you felt that was sort of, other than the bow, because the bow was, being our last item, kind of hanging out to the very end, anything that you were kind of hunting around for a ton before you realized where it was and grabbed it?
Well, swords were certainly a thing.
Yeah, swords were hard to come by in this seed. They definitely kept themselves well hidden throughout.
Oh man, I was really scared, because it's like, if I don't find cape, I'm gonna have to do Master Sword. I mean, I had silvers, but, you know, trying to do phase 2. And
Master Sword Ganon is a difficult feat for anyone, and Especially, I remember early on in my rando runs, Master Sword was like the least attractive prospect ever.
I mean, I'm not new to the rando scene. It's just I'm not very good at execution. I mean, it's only been recently that I've been getting sub 3-hour seeds. So,
Well, I mean, you ran this excellently. I mean, in 2 hour 33 rather is not something to sneeze at, especially, you were saying you were just recently getting sub 3 hours, and that's a pretty great progression forward.
yeah, I mean, I only recently, like, when I did my first daily, since, like, forever, if I ever did one before, was, like, I got an hour and a half PB, I think, with a 219 something other. That was a thing. But anyway.
It sounds like you're making great strides into being in that top 10 sooner rather than later.
Maybe. Yeah, I can be happy with just sub 2 hours.
Well, certainly this is a seed that kind of pulled our runners here and there, and it kept that one item, that bow for most people. I think it was hookshot for some others and bombos for others. Kind of that one item gatekeeping them from go mode. So certainly, once you got the go mode, you were off and running. You hit that gas pedal pretty quickly.
You want to know something strange about this seed? I was relieved to see that the boots were in Ganon's tower, because when I saw that Deserts was boots locked, it's like, okay, it can't be on the pedestal.
You were not the only runner to say that. There were quite a couple of our restreams definitely said that they were relieved to see that the boots were in Ganon's tower, and once that torch was clear of any big key, that they were very happy that had happened.
Yeah. I mean, part of the thing that was on my mind is, like, if Desert isn't boots locked, then I might have to go back to Swamp. Also, freaking Swamp.
I mean, Swamp and Misery Mire are my two least favorite places to go. But, it's interesting because not having the boots throughout the seed until the very end kind of puts a lot of people on even footing. So, as Chad's reminding us that pretty much every single one of our restream runners definitely were very relieved to see that the boots were in Ganon's tower and not required.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It kind of added that little bit of comfort with your knowledge of logic. Of, okay, well, at least it's not going to be on the ped.
Yeah, there are quite a few people, and Chad and Ediam and I also kind of pondering about that pedestal for a while to see if maybe that medallion would be on there waiting for the runners. But once Ped was dead, you guys were kind of full speed ahead.
Yeah, I mean, when I did the first chest of pod, I wasn't sure that was my go mode, but I just decided to gamble it, but then immediately checked the medallion, and it's like, okay, pod's empty then. Did we ever find the fourth sword?
I believe we did. We had one on Bumper Ledge. We had Pyramid Fairy had a sword as well. I don't know if you ended up checking Pyramid Fairy. That might have been where your last sword was.
Yeah, that would have been it.
But with the Tempered Sword, you certainly were well equipped for that Ganon fight. A couple of nail-biting moments there. I thought perhaps that those bats would knock you off, and certainly have felt that pain before, but you clutched it out at the end.
So with the bats, the thing is, as long as you don't hold the D-pad, they won't knock you off.
Oh, that's good to know. I learned something new today. Always good to talk to runners when I learn something new.
Yeah, no, that's like, if you know you're gonna get hit, just stand still.
That's great. Well, thank you for that tip there. So next time I go running, I will make sure to give you a shout out for that one.
Aw, thanks.
And you still clutch. I believe you got that torch clutch as well. Even after the bat smacked you, I think you got that torch clutch in there.
Yeah, I kind of just spam Y and hope that I get it.
Well, certainly a very admirable run, and we are so thankful that you were part of our restream today. Is there anything else you'd love to tell the adoring fans before we sign off for this evening?
I'm glad you guys enjoyed the race, and have a great night. And do exclamation SG live, because I'm sure that Fiesel will appreciate having that. Just a little shout out there.
Here we go. Thanks to our tracker, one of our trackers, Revolving Ocelot. So you'll see in there that Speed Gaming is hosting a tournament in the DC area. So you'll see their details in the chat there. All right. Well, Math Girl, it has been certainly a pleasure to commentate your race tonight. Unfortunately, Adam had to head out a little bit earlier, but I want to thank you on behalf of him and myself.
And thank you for commentating, and Tim. It was a lot of fun. Even if that bow was horrible.
Listen, it's the Big D is always. There's a radio station in the Northeast area called Big D 103, and now all I can think about is Big D 103. That Big D 103 is always, it's always slippery. Let me tell you.
Fair enough. Well, have a great night, everybody. I gotta head out of here.
All right, Math Girl, thank you. And as you head out, I want to thank, first of all, our trackers. We have Revolving Ocelot and Red Armor, who did a fantastic job watching the 4 tiny boxes on our screen and tracking all the items that our fantastic runners procured during their run. I also want to thank our 4 restreamed runners today, Solsky, Math Girl, Koi, and Zelgadison. Go ahead and give those 4 runners a follow. They are wonderful and certainly very prevalent within the speedrunning community for Link to the Past. And I want to thank you all on behalf of myself, the Profi Gamer, and of course Edium, for joining us this evening for this fantastic nightly 9 p.m. speed gaming stream. Of course, go ahead and check out any of the speed gaming original through Speed Gaming 6, and of course you have the Speed Gaming language channels. I believe you have German, French, Spanish, and now Portuguese in any of those Speed Gaming runs. If I say Speed Gaming one more time, you can call bingo. And thank you all to joining us this evening, and we hope to see you next time. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. will be another daily race, again at 9 p.m. And of course the schedule is online as well for speedgaming.org for all the different runs going on their channel. So I want to thank you all. This is the Profi Gamer signing off for tonight. Have a wonderful night, evening, afternoon, and morning, wherever you are. Take care.